Well, it happened again. Samsung converted me from a standard non-flippable phone to a flip phone. And you know what? I'm not mad. So now that it's been my 69-hour mark, yeah, I do that on purpose. Let me go ahead and review it and tell you exactly how it is when it comes to daily driving this amazing phone. So for a quick reference, after I insert this nice fluffy pillow, I buy my products out of pocket. This way I avoid the partnership agreement with the X company, which typically will involve the influencer, the partner brand, to talk positively about their product. I don't like doing that. I like just recording and telling you how the product is as it is. So in this video, I'm gonna go ahead and highlight the pros and cons of my ownership experience, and then you could decide if this is a good product for you or not. And as always, timestamps and everything will be in the description down below for your pleasure. Let's get started. Let's begin with the pros, and that is obviously the flip. I love using the flip mechanism, especially when I'm just resting my phone on a table or a countertop while watching a video on YouTube. It's designed with forward-facing speakers, so it's designed to actually be used in this way. And it's a lot cheaper than having to find like a kickstand or something like that that just adds extra bulk onto your existing phone. But the excitement doesn't just end there, because when it comes to shooting videos, there's actually like a cam handheld mode. View the front portion of the screen as a little viewfinder, like an old school cam recorder. And if you notice, every time when you flip this, it does like a satisfying snap. That is due to the fact there's actually new magnets that got added on the corners right here that lets the phone have a very satisfying snap whenever you close it. And then, as you may assume, every photo phone has like a little crease line right here, but the thing I noticed from owning the 6 to the new 7 is it's less noticeable, especially when you're looking at it directly. But if you look hard enough, it's still there, and if you actually are trying to feel it, you will still somewhat notice it, but it's been significantly improved, I've noticed. So nice little pro right there. And just like the amount of time I spend with this phone, the screen is also much larger too. It's now 6.9 inches. And the large bezels around, if you ever place your screen face down on the surface, there's a nice little raise, so it prevents it from accidentally damaging your screen. Even on the hinge mechanism on the side, there's a nice little raise as well. So good protection. And then just like the previous generation Flip 6, this continues using AI, which allows you to use some amazing features like turning your drawings into real art, all utilizing AI, existing photos with like goofy things just by simply drawing on it. And then of course, since this is after all a flip phone, when you end a call, you could just do that to hang up. And then go ahead and put it in your pocket without having that weird, awkward outline around your front pockets, if you know what I mean. As that's another positive thing about this phone is it's super compact. Not only when you compare it against an actual mobile phone, a non-flippable phone, it's literally half the size. And then in addition to that, if you compare it against like the latest generation iPhone 16, when it's folded, it still is pretty thin. If you include the camera hump, it's almost as thin as the iPhone on the side. And then when you unfold it, it's even ridiculously thinner. It's just mind-blowing. It's just a nice overall, very compact phone. And then when you need that larger display to view your content, boom, check that out. It's a massive display without buying a max version of an existing product. So I find it's easily much more comfortable putting this in my pocket than it is carrying a full-length iPhone. And don't even get me started about the front end screen. This screen is now edge to edge, which Samsung I believe is calling it their infinity display. Let me lower the brightness for you right now. But the brightness, as you saw earlier, can go up to 2600 nits now, which is much brighter than ever before. I never have any issues when it comes to viewing my screen outdoors. And the software is so optimized too, because unfortunately you still have to download Good Locks, which is this app widget right here, which allows you to open up like full size apps and actually use it, including text messages and such right here. So by selecting a video as an example, notice how the UI doesn't cut in the camera holes, and you still have this slider to go back to the home menu. And if we exit out of here and we unlock the phone, it will actually take us on the main app where we last left off. So you can easily transition from this screen to the main one. So not only is the front screen larger, it's brighter, and it finally has the capacity to go up to 120 Hertz without any issues. So the transition from 120 to the main 120 screen is not noticeable, a complaint I previously had about my old phone. But when it comes down to the camera quality, the quality of these two cameras are great. They're good for day-to-day use. Nothing extreme like the Ultra 25 as an example, but still we do have a 50 megapixel camera as well as a ultra wide lens that will get the job done. Just with the ultra wide lens, unfortunately there's no autofocus. But you'll still be able to use some amazing software features like a selfie timer, the camcorder as I was previously telling you about. No complaints here in terms of the overall video as well as the photo quality. Then when it comes to its water resistant, it is rated IPX8, which can handle all common splashes and quick dunks in the water in case it accidentally falls in. You can quickly grab it without experiencing any catastrophic issues. And then when it comes to translation tools, the front screen will be able to translate the language you're talking to and vice versa. This tool is extremely handy. It's already automatically built in onto the Flip 7. Other nifty tools that this phone has is if you need to enable the flashlight to bring out control center, and it will instruct you how to properly and safely do it so you don't want to blind yourself. So you can basically just use the volume button and it will start illuminating. And that light is pretty bright. And it's pretty convenient holding it like this than it would be holding like a smartphone. And just tap again to dismiss it. And continuing to compare it against the previous generation, the Flip 6, this also has a larger battery, a 4300 milliamp hour size battery. But from my real world experience, I've been able to get the same exact battery life from the older Flip 6, it seems like, because I'm able to easily achieve up to like 5 hours of screen time while still having about 30% battery life remaining. So on a good day, I'm sure this phone could easily give me a close to 7 hours of screen time, no issues. A solid performing phone. Plus, if I'm actually trying to squeeze as much juice as much as possible, I could avoid using the main screen and just use this small screen right here to easily improve the battery life. And now it actually has built-in decks. You no longer have to modify it like we previously had to do on the Flip 6. And with all these hardware improvements, to my surprise, this weighs exactly the same like the Flip 6, even though it's thinner slightly. And if you're concerned about software support, like some older Android phones used to be, don't be, because Samsung is guaranteeing this phone to continue to have software support for the next 7 years, the longest I've seen on any phone. And another massive pro about this phone is if you use somebody's referral link, I'll be sure to include mine in the video description down below, as well as the side cards right here if you're on mobile. But if you use those links, you'll easily get a discount on the phone, saving you about $50. Sometimes even free double storage too. So definitely check on those affiliate links that we use and take advantage of those amazing free discounts. But now let's go ahead and talk about the cons, because there's quite a few. Most importantly is the concern of the foldable display. These screens are known to be very expensive when it comes to repairing, which is why I highly recommend picking up a warranty protection for either from Samsung or from a mobile provider, because these are flimsy. And if something does happen, that's going to be an expensive repair. But coming from the Flip 6 to the Flip 7, my Flip 6 lasts me throughout the entire year without any issues, even as a daily driver. So I feel that the Flip 7 should be better built, unlike the Flip 1, 2, and 3. Those ones had like really terrible screen issues. But for my Flip 6, I never experienced any dead pixels or anything like that. So the reliability on these AMOLEDs are definitely much stronger than previously. And then another drawback to the Samsung phones is their Samsung stores. They are harder to come by than it is with an Apple store. So you gotta look on the map. If you see around your location, you'll probably find out that the nearest Samsung store is several hundred miles away from you. In my case, I'm in Sacramento. It's like an hour and a half from me. So something to keep in mind. If something happens, it requires warranty work, you're likely gonna have to ship it out to them. And another issue I have with this phone, even with a fast charger, let's see, right now this phone is, I haven't charged this since yesterday, and we are at 32%. So if I plug this into a 65 watt fast charger and we unlock the phone, it's going to take an hour and 6 minutes to fully charge to 100%. But from my experience, a 30-minute charge will allow this phone to last an additional 5 hours. So even though it takes a while to charge to 100%, a 30-minute charge will be more than enough to get you closely throughout the entire day. And another con is the color selection. We went from having 7 color choices to choose from on Samsung store to now only having 4. And even though the internal specs from its processor was slightly improved, I haven't really noticed a massive improvement from the Flip 6 to the Flip 7. So the performance is unfortunately identical, but it still has a good amount of RAM capacity. Another con that's worth noting is in order to utilize the front lock page to open full applications and such, you need to download a third-party app called Good Lock, and then you gotta download like Multi-Tool or something like that. And more to the story, it's easy, it's possible, but the fact that the consumer has to do this on their own behalf just to get it all to work, it's a pretty con, because it requires the user to actually do research and enable all this. This is something that should have been already enabled out of box, you know. So there you guys have it. Those are all the pros and cons when it comes to owning the Flip 7. Me personally, I love this device. I just enjoy the compact size. This blue color matches extremely well like my classic Nintendo SP, which I still have to this very day. Anyways, if you're planning on picking one up, be sure to use that referral link in the description down below. This way you can save up some money. And if you're on mobile, it'll be somewhere on the side of the video as well. You can simply click on it, give you a nice little discount right then and there. And then it doesn't cost you anything extra by using that. You just benefit from the discount and you support the channel so I can continue buying these things out of pocket and review the product like it is without having to submit it to the manufacturer and let them approve it or deny it if they refuse to hear the cons. I like this freedom. And I'm sure you do too. Anyways, thank you so much for watching. But real quick, if you wish to watch more, highly recommend checking out this video over there, as that is a video that YouTube is recommending specifically for you. Give it a watch and see if they like it or not. And then from there, you can make the decision if you like to subscribe. Thank you so much for watching.